And it's also why I'm calling for a federal Third Frontier program modeled after the state Third Frontier program. I had the privilege of being the chair of the Ohio Third Frontier Commission for 2 years. To see these investments in technology is exciting. Medical devices that are saving people's lives, advanced materials that are making things lighter and stronger at the same time for our military. And the Third Frontier program on a national level that will encourage that kind of research and development can be key to job creation. But I think we need to pause for a second and also realize that there are many people in Cincinnati tonight who aren't focused just on job creation. They're focused on staying in their home. Because they haven't just lost their job, they have lost their home. So that's why, to deal with this issue, we have to be aggressive. For example, banks have been very reluctant to modify mortgages. So what should we do? One thing we should do is support legislation on the federal level that will give bankruptcy judges the power to modify these loans and lower the monthly payments and to lower the principal. And just as importantly, we have to make sure that this type of economic meltdown never happens again. We need to rein in the reckless policies of the Bush-Portman administration that brought us to the edge. You'll probably hear that a lot. That brought us to the edge of this economic cliff. That's why I've called for a new, strong financial watchdog agency with the power to investigate outrageous overdraft fees charged by banks without the consent of their customers, soaring credit card interest rates charged by financial firms. Elections, when you distill them, are about choices. Rob Portman is our likely Republican opponent. As President George Bush's top trade negotiator and advisor and budget director, he wasn't just somebody who voted yes with George Bush more than 95% of the time. Rob Portman was one of the chief architects of the trade and economic policies that dug the deepest economic ditch in most of our lifetimes. As chief trade negotiator, Mr. Portman pushed policies that left millions of American workers to fend for themselves. And there's something wrong. There's something terribly wrong with the country that you love and that many people have actually fought for. Pursue policies that ship jobs overseas, explode the deficit by tax cuts for the wealthy, use the deficit as a reason to limit the government's role to help those most in need, and then over 8 years dig the deepest economic ditch. And guess who was holding the shovel and digging the ditch? It was Rob Portman. This is not the time to move backwards. Ohio's families can't afford it, neither can America's future. So here's what we need to do. We need to do what America has always done when facing great challenges. We need to come together as one people, reinvent ourselves, and lift up and grow and protect the middle class. The oxygen for a growing economy, it's optimism, it's confidence, it's vision. This isn't about a bailout, it's about a build-up. The next pioneers will be the visionaries who figure out how to harness the sun's energy, build a battery to store the wind, and engineer the renewable fuel that won't compete with our food supply. Years from now, our children, our grandchildren, will read the Ohio story, or maybe they'll see it on their digital eyeglasses. And they'll see a state that could have taken a path backwards, led by Rob Portman, or a path that pointed to the future and invested in that future. That went from steel to wind turbines, that went from glass to solar panels, that went from tires to advanced materials, that went from gas-guzzling cars to hybrid and electric and fuel cell-powered vehicles. It's happening now, and we must invest in that future. It's not enough to recover. It's also important that once we get out of the ditch, we don't stop, because the world is coming at us at lightning speed. Nothing worthwhile comes easy, but the dreams we hold and the goals we share are well worth the fight. Like you, I believe in America, I believe in Ohio, and I want to be a new voice in the United States Senate and fight for the kind of America and the kind of Ohio that believes in you. Thank you.